Hello everyone and welcome to Bevan's Bricks, the second stream of the day, and we're going to be working on finishing up this last modular building that I'm doing. This is one of two sections of residential area that I'm going to be putting into my city. Excuse me. Blinky Brick says first, Fox Leader, Chris Aubrey, Brick Sergeant, Aussie Adams, Paulo, Kenneth, Little Sweet Collections, R. Claxton. Hello, 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 everybody. And thank you so much, Brick Sergeant, for that 99-cent donation. That was very awesome of you. And excuse me, guys, I've been outside for a little bit, so I got a little bit of the sniffles. And hello to Amarillo, Texas, my friend. How are you doing, Raymond? And Greg Banger, hello, hello. Anyway, let me get this keyboard out of my way. And I did find my remote control earlier, because if you didn't notice, I cleaned the table because it was getting a little out of hand. And I'm going to scoot this back just a little bit so you guys can have a little bit of a better view. And we are going to raise it up some also, just to try and get things kind of into focus here a little bit. There we go. Get those out of the way. And how you doing, Aaron? Matthew Vanderhall, Raymond Diaz says, staying warm. That's the only thing you can ask for right now, buddy. It is so cold and snowy everywhere. The first thing I'm going to do, let's pop this back off. And now I want to take the other half of this wire. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of tuck some of this in a little bit, because I don't want the wire to be visible from the outside. So I always try to hide things as much as I can anyway. You can't totally hide all your wires, but one can try. So we are going to put all that back over there. Now that plug is up and out of the way, and it keeps it from being totally visible from the outside. Now we're going to push this back together. There we go. Now we got to fish this up the stairs. This is where things get a little hectic, but the first thing I'm going to do is I want to put just a few small details in here, because of course we want to have some details. If you're looking at it from the outside, looking in, you want to see a few things. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little planter. We're going to put a plant in the corner on the second floor. So we'll start with that. We're just going to grab a few real simple parts, and I will come and sit back down and show you how we do that. So there's those two pieces. And let's see, we will go with this color. I think these leaves look pretty good anyway. And let's see. Greg's rubbing in that he's in warm weather already. Anyway, we're just going to take a few random leaf pieces and just stick them together on top of this little stem for a quick little plant to go inside the house. So we're just going to put that in the hallway, give us something to see if you're looking in the window. And we'll put that guy right, if I can get my fat fingers to go down in there. There we go. So now we'll put that down in that little hallway area. So again, if you're looking in from outside, you can see that little plant there in the back of the window. Now let's just do some basic furnishings for inside here. We'll make a real simple bed to put over here, and then I think I might even put a dresser or something over here, and we'll put a lamp, I think, on that dresser, and we'll do a yellow LED, I think, also for that. Yes, this is the remote I was looking for earlier. And then I got the other two TV remotes as well. Yes, but that's part of the reason why I cleaned. I thought, you know what? If I just keep building like I'm going, it's just going to keep getting worse and worse. And that's why I thought, well, we're going to take a breather. We're going to stop, and we're going to clean, because I needed to clean badly. For the bed, again, because I'm doing the interiors on this house, and I want to keep things really as simple as possible. I'm not trying to go over the top. I just want stuff that you can see when you're looking at the inside. So I'm just going to do a real simple, basic interior design after I grab a few of these parts. What do we want to do with that? Let's do, you know what, let's go super simple. Let's grab these. These always work really well. And I don't want white. You know what? The inside of that is yellow. Let's do yellow. I think that will work pretty well. So we're just going to do a real simple bed in yellow. I'm going to do these as jumpers. Take 2 of these. And let's go, let's see. I am just trying to think outside the box. Let's see. Let's go. This is going to be the pillows and whatnot. Let's make that piece a little fatter. So let's grab. Let's grab a 1x2 yellow. Let's do a wood headboard. And we're going to go real simple with the headboard. So we're going to use that piece for the headboard. And we're going to do another round of yellow to add some thickness to the bed. I've already kind of got an idea in my head of what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of grabbing all the parts to do it. And let's see. If we do that, then we could, where is my 1x2s? I don't like that color though. Let's look for, yes, let's do brown. I think brown would look better. Much, much better. Or okay, let's see what kind of damage we can do with all the parts I got now. Michael said, just got my second order today. Woohoo! Awesome, Michael. Greg says he's in summer there in Australia. Aaron says, glad I found it, referring to my remote control. And we're having a little bit of a blip on the stream, so I apologize for that. Should be starting to clear up, I hope. And now I need a white 1x4. Or do I want a white 1x4? You know what, let's put these on first. That's awesome, G. Williams. He says he's working on a mock of Centurion Battle Tank. Lego Joe says with shops and a lot of detail. Oh, he's working on a skyscraper. Awesome. I hope you do get that. Yes, Michael, that sticker sheet that I have is very large. I don't think people realize how big that sticker sheet that I'm selling. I forgot how many stickers are exactly on it, but it's a, trying to remember, is it 5 inches by 12 inches in size? So that's why I said a lot of, they're very large and there's a lot of stickers on there. And I know some people have complained about some of my pricing, but it's like, you know how long, those take a long time to make on the cutting machine and all that. But anyway, there's our basic bed, but I hope you enjoy them. I think they're really good stickers. I honestly want to, let's see, let's put that guy in there. I want to make a few more varieties of different stickers, but I'm just not sure exactly what I want to do yet. And Paul Bot, how the heck are you, my friend? Our Claxton says, did Paul Bot finally give you your remote back after you pleaded with him? No, I found it under a pile of Lego. I did what Paul Bot always tells or complains to me about, which is I cleaned. So there is something to be said about trying to stay clean, to say the least. I have to admit that. And now with this dresser, I am going to do a real simple basic technique to kind of make it look kind of bright and light and airy. And I'll show you what I'm going to do. It's a real simple technique, and it makes the dresser look like it has drawers. So all you simply do, and I need two 1x2s. And there we go. Thank you, Comrade Sizzle. We're just going to put these guys in here. Put this guy there. Like I said, just really simple little techniques, nothing fancy. And we're going to do, you know what, we're only going to put one, so we're going to put a night light or a lamp on that one. That's what I'm trying to spit out of my mouth. Here's the other one. So we'll do that. So that'll be the dresser that goes in this room. We'll stick with that yellow theme we got going on. We're going to put that right over here in the corner. So now we have our little dresser, and then we have our little bed. And I think we're going to put, we're going to make this like a little office. So we'll just put a real simple small table in there is what we're going to do with a chair, I think. Yeah, that's what we're going to do with that one. So let's get a 2x4. And we will do that desk in tan, is what I'm thinking. And we're going to make this a very, very simple desk. We're just going to take a few different jumper plates. See, we need a keyboard, we need a monitor. How do we want to do this, dude? Let's see, I gotta find. Hello, Lumberjack. How the heck are you, my friend? No, I never actually thought to do that, Fox Leader, but I can imagine there was a ton of sets that were destroyed if you tried to do a running tally and count. And I need to come up with a better organization for all my printed pieces. Let's see. You know what? Let's go real basic with the computer screen. We'll do that instead. That'll make it simple. So let's tuck all that back in there. Oh, I still need the keyboard though. Keyboard. We'll do a keyboard. There we go. Our Claxton says, I think you need to hire Paul Bott as a gent. No, because he would never leave if I did that. Nick Bricks Canada, yo, I have the same shirt via MTV. You know, and it's an awesome shirt. I'm sure if you have that, you're probably in my age category. And I really wish that they would come back with an actual MTV as opposed to the garbage that they do nowadays. I don't even know why MTV calls themselves MTV anymore, because the reality of it is there is nothing music about MTV anymore. My personal opinion, anyway. But I loved it back in the day, and I loved the emblem that's on my shirt. Because that was, to me, that was back when MTV was an awesome channel, and it was very entertaining, to say the least. For our desk, again, I am just doing something really basic. This is 2 snap bricks with a plate, and then I put another jumper plate on top. And then on the top, we're simply going to make it look like our keyboard is here, like so. And then let me get a white tile. And I'm almost thinking I'm gonna do, let me do a single white brick, or white plate. To kind of, how do we do that? If we do this, we can do that. There we go. So now we're going to take that guy and use it as our monitor. So there is our simple, really super simple desk. Like I said, trying to keep things extremely small. Oops. To fit it into this room, and I want that keyboard to stay on the desk. Now let's slide that guy down in there. Get in there. There you go. Come on. And then we're just going to do, there's the little desk. Now we're just going to do a simple chair to put in front of it. And my chairs are over here. And let's do that. Again, another basic design, just a chair with a little round plate on it, and then we're going to pop that down. Right there. So now we have some details in there if you were to look in the windows. Now we're going to build a little lamp to stick in the corner, and we're going to put a light underneath it. And for that, I am just going to use a simple telescope piece. We're going to put the light on top of that. And then we're going to put a lampshade on it. So I'm going to have an actual light underneath there, and then I will just put that on top of that. So now I can sit down for a few minutes while we work on this. Michael says he just built the Lovebirds set for the boss last night. I'm going to assume the boss is your wife. That sounds awesome, buddy. And howdy, Falcon. I hope you're doing well. Yes, if MTV was it's like I always tell everybody, because one of my favorite things about MTV back in the 80s, a lot of people may or may not know, is the Headbanger Ball. And the Headbangers Ball was every Saturday night at midnight, and I used to live to just see that every freaking weekend. And good evening to you, Zachary. Trying to make sure I caught all the comments. Fox Leader says, I can't even guess the price of those apartments. They blew up in the beginning, but when I questioned Atlanta Brick Company about one similar to it, they said it was going to cost around $2,000. And I can imagine. So that's one thing I find personally funny, is a lot of people, to me anyway, always seem to think that Lego should be so cheap and everything. And when people learn what the actual price of some stuff is, because a lot of people, I think they just think about the price of what the pieces themselves were, and they don't take a lot of consideration into the fact of people's time. Because I get people all the time that are just kind of out of the blue will ask me, and I am trying to find the right light that I want to use. So I'm wondering, you know what, I think I'm going to try this white one first. But the point that I'm getting at, do I want to put a light upstairs? Yeah, I might. The point I'm getting at, though, is a lot of people, it's like they automatically think that it's supposed to be cheap because it's Lego. And they don't take into consideration your time, all the money you have to spend to buy the parts, get them shipped, and all that good stuff. And let's get... Oh, come on. But I can easily imagine, oh, that's the problem. Because that's got the LED in it, it doesn't want to stick. Let's see, hold on 1 minute. let me, what other color could I go with? Instead of doing a plate, let's see. I'm still wondering, do I want to, I don't think I'm going to light up the upstairs, so I'm just going to, you know what, I'm going to go grab a different piece. Oh, those are all great sets, Michael. They look amazing, especially on a dresser or something in display. CC said, look at that remote lined up strong. Well, like I said, that way if I try to do something, I actually know where it's at this time. I am trying to find where, so I'm going to stop. What it looks like, I've got LEDs like all over the place in here. That's non-flashing. I don't know that I want, let's see. That's just a bright white. I could try that. What do we have for, you know what, let's try that. Let's just try just a basic naked LED and see how that looks. That might be a better solution if I'm not going to go any higher in the house. What color is it that Paul Bot hates? I'll have to make sure I post more of it. And thank you, I appreciate that, Macro Bricks. That's the mosaic window is right there. Give me just a minute though, because I'm trying to get the light installed so that we can, because I want to see how bright this is going to be. Do I want to do it? Yeah, let's do it that way. So I'm not sure. So I don't want to go too loud. Now let me just plug this in as a test. I want to see. So I'm wondering if that is going to be bright enough to light up that window is my question. So I'm doing this kind of as a test before I go through the rigmarole of placing it. Give me 1 second. I think that might work. Let me just set this up here. Mind you, I do have to route that into the house. I want to get it totally dark in here because I want to see how much that'll stand out with my lights off. Just so I get a better idea. The problem is with the camera, I don't think things stand out as well. I almost think I want that to be brighter looking at it. It's not bad, but I don't think it's bright enough. Let's put a different light in there because I really want that to pop. I want that to be really, really bright. So let me look for one more light. Hold on. I think I have. Let's try. Bear with me, guys, while I'm running back and forth. I don't want a color changing one. If I did anything, I would want yellow or white. And I thought I had. Let's try the yellow. Yeah, why not? I really want that mosaic glass to stand out. It needs more power. No, the camera does not like the change. And get that back down. Let's try. So that was a naked LED. Let's try doing an LED and a brick, because you're not really going to see the light anyway. And I am going for illumination more than I am going for looks on this. So now let's try and see how that one, I think that might be a winner. Because that looks more, to me anyway, I think that is going to be a winner, guys. And let me readjust the lights again, trying to get the camera focused up. Try being me, Steve. as far as them not upgrading your speeds. Now see, that's funny because now to me that looks good in person, but it washes out on the camera. And that's one of the things that kind of stinks because the camera shows one thing and then to me I see another. And trying to, and thank you so much, Macro Bricks. I appreciate that. Macro just donated $2. And why is that camera did not like the light at all? It looks like it froze up on me. Hold on one second, guys. And again, thank you so much, Macro, for that. And my build cam froze, but I'm having all kinds of problems. My camera is flashing at me and I don't know what that means. And why are you flashing at me? Give me 1 second, guys, because I think I accidentally kind of yanked the cord. Holy cow, Macro, hit that like. He's doing donation after donation after donation. That's $6 now. Holy crap, dude. Thank you. I appreciate that. And why won't that camera come back online? We are having technical difficulty. I don't know what the problem is because I took the boost out of my cameras because I thought that was creating a problem. And now this camera does not want to work at all. Come on. Well, let me try one more thing. Apparently the lights messed him up. And where? Give me 1 second, guys. I am trying to check all my connections. Nope, that's plugged in. I obviously need to learn more about technical stuff. Oops. Macro said, oh yeah, button. And did another $2 donation. And again, thank you so much, Macro. I appreciate that. Hold on 1 second, guys. Imperial Officer, thank you so much. And he says, hi, I finally caught part of a stream. Actually, you caught the beginning of it, but I don't know what my problem is with cameras here lately. I'm just not having any luck with them. General, widgets, apps. It just does not like me today. It's not lighting up and it's plugged in. I am so sorry, guys. No, I didn't use the cord for the tractor tire. Apps. And thank you so much, Kenneth Swan. He says $2 for the new camera. Something apparently, because it just is not working. Let's see, video capture device, add source. Let's do this. Let's do another build cam, and let's add it as the C92 Pro. And let's remove that source. Go back to this one. Come on, reboot. Imperial Officer says, oh good, the last two I came in at the end of. I'm gonna swap cameras altogether, guys. So let me just try this, because I do have a whole nother camera over here. I'm not actually not using at the moment. Seeing as how this one's being such a frustration. The only problem is this one is currently mounted on a different tripod and not on a swing arm. So let's try and change it out and see if we can change it up that way. And that should, I think, trying to remember which camera that would be called. And I apologize, guys. No, it's not. The snow. Yeah, the snow took out my lawnmower. It took out one of my wheel bearings went bad, and it happened right in the middle of me plowing yesterday, which is why I wasn't able to do. Actually, I only have 2 cameras plugged in now because that was my 3rd camera. But I already have different sources set up. And so I don't want that camera. I don't want that camera. Alex, thank you so much. And guys, I can't thank you enough for being so tolerant. Because I don't want... that. Michael says for the snow. And again, thank you so much, Alex. Again, I really appreciate you guys. I can't believe you guys are out donating while I'm technically having a bunch of technical difficulties. And why won't none of the cameras are working that I plug into that port? So let me do this. Let me just change the port altogether. It's the last thing I know to do. And sometimes, too, a lot of my problems, what I typically find is that for some reason, during a live stream, that just does not like to operate. And I am looking for... I already unplugged that one. I already undid that one. That one's still working, so I am not touching it. So let's take this, because it doesn't feel to me like it is responding to getting plugged in. Let's plug my mouse in back again. Okay. Last ditch effort here. And my mic keeps grabbing my camera towers. To do a reboot, I'm going to have to end the stream. And the thing is it's just not recognizing anything. There we go. Okay, I think that other camera totally crashed. Now I got this one working. Again, I apologize for that, guys. And man, the lighting on this needs to, like I said, what sucks is this isn't on my tripod. No, the problem though is nothing's made in the USA anymore, Michael. The one thing I will say is this camera seems like it's not being affected as bad by the lighting. Let me turn that overhead off again, just to see how that looks. See, what I don't like is with the camera anyway, because to me this is nice and bright and it looks good, but with this particular camera that I have pointed at it, it dims out. To me, it like blurs it out. But in person, me standing here, all the colors are very vibrant. I mean, extremely vibrant. I wonder, let me try something. Well, even on my phone camera, it doesn't look right. That's what I was trying to do. It darkens it up a little bit for you guys, though. So what I'm wondering, no, when it comes to electronics, Fox Leader, you're absolutely right. There's, well, even for, it doesn't really matter what it is. There's really hardly anything made in the USA anymore. Let me try and transfer this camera over to this because this works better for when I'm streaming. So again, thank you guys so much. I still can't believe you guys were all donating, especially while I was having a bunch of technical difficulties. And let me get this. I'm going to have to order a new camera tomorrow. Come on, you can get in there. Get that guy on there. This is the tripod I like to use because it's easier for me to adjust angles and stuff. There we go. That gives you guys a really good up-close view of it. It's still, because the light behind it, it still washes out just a little bit in that corner, but I think for the most part, it's a pretty good thing. Yeah, eggs are by the chickens. They are made in the USA. You are absolutely right, Imperial Officer. And again, guys, I thank each and every one of you for donating while I was having all those problems. I really do appreciate it. That was awesome, all of you. I still can't believe you guys were all donating that much. Again, thank you, thank you. As I was sitting here getting frustrated by my lighting. Let me turn this back off over here. Aaron says the light looks good. The Lego Place says I think it's a lot better now. Yes, I agree. I think it looks a whole lot better now. Paul Bass says everybody was dropping tips so I could get decent equipment. And again, I want to say a very special thank you. Alex donated $4.99. Imperial Officer donated $2. Kenneth Swan donated $2. Macro Bricks did 4 individual $2 donations. And I also want to give another very special thank you to Brick Sargent at the beginning of the stream that donated. So again, I really appreciate it, and I appreciate your guys' patience. But I think I'm happy with that now. So now let's scoot this back a little bit. And let me raise it back up just a touch. Turn that back down a little, because now what we're going to do is we're going to try and route that wire in through the building, so that way we can put it together the right way. And thank you, John Garrett. Thank you so much. The Lego Pieces says cool. An Imperial Officer says yes, but chickens are in the United States. And I'm trying not to unplug that camera. So let's take this back off now. And I forgot who exactly it was that was asking to see that, and I hope that you can see the stained glass, because somebody asked specifically to see that, and that's why I was trying to focus on that for just in a minute. Inflation is made in the USA. Now, what I'm going to do to route that wire, because this wall, as you can see, is not connected. So what I'm going to do is pull this apart just a touch. I'm trying to show you guys what I'm doing here. There we go. So now we can slide that down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that cable. I'm trying to get you guys to hopefully see this. And what I'm going to do is take that cable and slide it behind the stairs. And then grab it, if I can anyway, down here at the bottom. So now I have my whip down on the bottom side. So what I can physically do now is plug this together, just like so. And then we should be able to put the building together, and it should be very difficult to see the wires, which is what I'm shooting for. So now let's take that, and then we are going to hook that on the back stairs. And you can't make everything totally invisible, but we can sure try to make it as invisible as possible. And now the key that I want to point out, and I'm going to show you up close now, is that when you are looking in the window of the building, and I'm hoping you can see this, you cannot see wire at all. And that is what I'm always aiming for. So if somebody was looking at this and looking through the window, you can't see wire. And then again, down here, I got the little television going, and you can't see the wires anywhere looking through the windows because they are all tucked away really nicely. You can see a little bit of wire if you look really hard on that back wall, but it's almost entirely gone. And then this building is done in the official way, and it still has the guy inside painting the wall. There is no lights on this floor. This floor has a husband and wife kind of at the kitchen table having a little snack, and this camera does not work that well. And then this one I totally left blank, but there is a porch light. But let me come back now, and let's get the top back up together. Hey, Eccentric Bricks, how are you? And Fox Leader said Blinky Bricks, and I don't see a comment from Blinky Bricks though. Oh, somebody was asking where I get my lighting from. Train Brant said, well, I was asked where I get my lighting from. I use both. I use Brick Loot and Blinky Bricks, and then I do also do a lot of my own custom lighting. But Fox Leader is correct, because the lights that are in here right now being used are Blinky Bricks. And thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Michael just donated $5 also. The thing I want to point out is anytime you see me using lights, and I will show you, because the lights that I was using have black wire, you always know if it's black wire, I am using Blinky Bricks products. If I am using, because I do also use Brick Loot products, if I'm using a Brick Loot product, it's going to have a white wire on it. And then if it's my own design, which you can see right here, my wires, when I do my own wiring, and it's just quite simply to make things simple for me, to make it easier for me to distinguish the positive from the negative, I use black and red, because the black's always my hot, and the red is always my hot, and then the black is always my negative. Yes, I'm going to put that on here right now, and what I'm going to do before I do that though, is I want to add a few small details in here, but just to show you, this is the finished roof. Oh, actually, let me put that piece back on too. This is the finished roof line, so you can see I put a little chimney on it, I put some top details on it, and then I got a few little details there. I'm almost thinking, because of what I've done with this, that I might leave that empty. I think I am going to leave that empty and call this baby done. Let's put this guy back on, and then I need to put, there we go, I need to put my gutter line here. And with the gutter line, Michael says up to code. Joe Krabs says those lights are crispy. And Eccentric Bricks, hey, hey, ho, ho. And this is a product that I sell on my website. This is, I know I've talked about it a lot. This is, this little product anyway, is the equivalent of Lego tubing. And I use this on a lot of different builds. And we're going to be using this to put our downspout on this portion of the building now. And again, this is a really simple process because you can cut it. And I am looking for my point of separation real quick. So it's right there. So all I'm simply going to do is take that, pop it in the top clip. And then I know I want it to cut because I want to keep this modular. So now I'm going to cut this right here. So now I have one of these pieces done. And we can leave this on there. So there's part of our downspout. And again, I want to bring this down just a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing. And again, if you are interested in this tubing at all, I sell this on my website, bevansbricks.com. And now the next thing we're going to do, because I want this to run down and into the water garden area. So I'm going to make this that long. So I just mark it with my thumb, I pull the piece back out, I give it a cut. And again, I sell this for $1 a foot on my website. So you get 12 inches of it for $1. And I also do want to point out, for anybody that buys anything on my website, any purchases over $30 is free shipping all day long. So if anytime you make a $30 purchase and you need something shipped to you, it is absolutely free as long as the purchase was $30. And there we go. So now we have our downspout. So we pull that back and refocus that just a little bit. We're going to call this particular section of the residential housing completely done. Absolutely, man. Keep it simple, stupid. That's what KISS stands for. And thank you, John Garrett. He says that looks great. The Beatles fan says cool. Let me throw this tubing. Mind you, I have a bunch more of this, so I think I have over 100 foot in stock of every single color for anybody that likes this type of tubing. And I have it in a variety of colors. I have it in green, yellow, red, blue, black, gray, orange. So I have a bunch, and I mean a bunch of colors. Thank you, Isflix. I really appreciate that. And anyway, now what I'm trying to decide, because I need to put this in the city now, and I'm wondering if I should start on my next city block. The next building I was wanting to do, I want to be in lavender, and I'm waiting on a few more 1x1 pieces so I can use the lavender easier. I guess we could build the Mills plate. Joe Krabs, build complete. Yes, it is. At least I'm happy with it. And just to show you guys the backside too. And I still got to put my other whip on this end. Let me just spin this around. You know, that's something we got to do. We got to add some trees back here. So let's do that. I'm trying to get my power supply over to the other side. So I don't think anybody saw the backside yet. And what I did with the backside, like on this house, I added doors and windows, and then I added the small porch. And I see I knocked my porch support leg out. So let me put that back together real quick. There we go. So now that porch is back together. We already have steps here and here, but what I was kind of thinking is putting a few like little fence lines and stuff back here, just to kind of break things up. And I also want to do another little tree. So let me scoot that kind of out of the way, and we'll keep it in focus for you guys to be able to see it all. And let's put, and that isn't pushed down all the way. Let's put one more tall tree right here. So let's get some tree pieces. What is up, Michael? And again, I like to use, because I'm going to show you that product again, guys. Let me find my open bag of it. Because I like to use this to keep the trees supportive. And let me just bring the camera back a little bit so you can see what I'm going to be doing here. We're going to take one of those guys. I'm going to grab some leaves. So let's grab, let's see. Oh, I don't want to use yellow, I don't think. What color's on the first one? Dark green. So let's go with a light green. Or a medium green, I guess I should call it. And let's see, how many do I want to grab? Nope, that's too light. We'll just grab a couple. And then we're gonna grab some brown 1x1s. Let me take this over here. We'll just grab, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll put some flowers and stuff like that on the back too. Eccentric Bricks, thank you so much. So let's do that. Now the one thing you do have to do, and I know this is probably upset some people, but when you look, 'cause I always use these for the bases on my trees because it gives you a nice simple start. But when you look in the center of it, it's already hollow, but there's this little plastic tab right here at the beginning of it, and that's what I take this drill for. I just put it right on there, and you don't have to run the drill. You're just trying to push that little tab in is all you're doing. So I'm just cleaning it out so I can use my tubing is all I'm simply doing. There we go. Like I said, you're not physically drilling it. There's a little bit of plastic that's always left on the inside from the actual manufacturing, and that's what I do that for. Now what we're gonna do is, let's see, let's make the tree that tall. And again, I sell this product on my website. We're just gonna cut a little piece of that off. So now we know we want our tree to be this length. So now we're just gonna shove that down in there. Let's put the tree kind of close to the house. Let's put it right here. And now that we've done that, get that back in focus. And hello, Peanut Lee. And I appreciate that. Peanut Lee says this is absolutely awesome. And now all we're going to do is just kind of rotate some leaves around it. So now we're going to take this, slide it all the way down. And like I said, this is just because that's what I did with this tree too. It's just because it keeps it from falling apart, because we all know how fragile tree builds and stuff can be. And just by using that tubing, it really, 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 really helps keep stuff in line and keep it together. So it's to me, it's one of the best products you can possibly invest in when it comes to doing different builds and things in your city for landscaping and such. And like I said, we're just randomly putting some leaf pieces, and then we put a leaf, and then we put a 1x1 brick round, and then we put a leaf, and then we put a 1x1 brick round, and just rinse, wash, repeat. And it just makes for a real simple, nice, fulfilled tree. And we'll put this guy here. No rhyme or reason for any of it, just kind of throwing stuff on there. We'll do another one here. Let's see, let's do this way. And I try to make sure that every time I put one on, I do it in a different direction, because it kind of helps to make it fill, in a little better. Makes it look more natural, I guess would be a good way to put it. Let's do this one this way. Imperial Officer says, I paint stuff, so. And I see nothing wrong with doing some modifications at all, but some people, they totally get freaked out when you show them that you put a drill to it, you do this, you do, and it's like, well, it's kind of how I'm able to do some of my stuff. And it's not that I do want to point out, you don't have to do what I just showed you to do a tree, but to me, it lets you get that tubing in there to make the tree a lot stronger, because there's nothing worse than when you're building something like this. If I was to grab it and pull it down, there's nothing worse than touching a tree and then it all falling into pieces. Where with this, because I have that tubing in it, it doesn't come apart no matter what you do to it. You can flex it and bend it around in the whole 9 yards. So if you wanted your tree, just to show you, if you wanted to give it a more natural look and have it swaying over, you can, because you have that tubing inside of it. And if you want to keep it straight, just push it back up and kind of give it a little push, and it straightens right back out. But to me, it makes for a very, very, very realistic looking tree. Big happy trees, absolutely, man. You can't, you can never have enough trees, in my opinion. I love having the trees and plants, and just like to fill it in. And grab just a few more. Berkeley Brick says he looked at the time and almost fell over. Must be way past your bedtime. Get some sleep, buddy, and hopefully we will see you again soon. Michael says more realistic. Absolutely, because if you tried to bend a tree like that or make it form without using Lego pieces, you would not be happy with your results. Let me get just a few more leaf pieces. That's why I said to me, that stuff is just, it's amazing. I love it. I love, love, love this tubing. And I use the daylights out of it. Put a small leafy piece there, and we'll put a little small leafy one here. And there we go. So now we have 2 trees in the back area of the housing. Now let's just do, because we had this little garden here, let's do some flowers in here, and I think we're going to put a little patch of flowers in here. Oh, I definitely will. Let me get some more details on the back of it, and we will be placing it in the city. Let's see, I want a 2x6 in brown for some flowers. Pull that back out of the way for a minute. So we'll put some flowers in here. I'm thinking I'm going to put a few weeds under here. Actually, I think I'll just do that. I'll put some flowers and put a few weed pieces, and we'll call it good. So let's put a few pieces of weeds. And you know what? I already have some flowers made up. So that is going to make things really easy for me. Let's grab those and those. What are those? Grab one more. Come here, you gotta come apart. And now let's do a few small weed pieces. We'll just do like 2 or 3, 4. Yeah, let's do 5. Sometimes more is better. Not always, but. And then we're gonna take, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of those. The Beetle says you should just make Penny Lane. Now let's put these flowers right. Why is my phone taking pictures? Let's do that. And then I am almost thinking I'm going to leave that with just those 2 things. Let's, you know what? Let's put one more just kind of randomly off in the side. And then let's put a couple of these pieces under that porch. And these are just the little sprue pieces. You put them into the little green round piece. And we will just do that like there. Because most of the time when you see a deck, it usually has weeds underneath it. Street name for Daryl, the Funny Farm. Funny Farm Drive. That would be funny. I like it. Just a few little weeds. And let's put, you know what, let's scoot. Yeah, we'll just leave it at 4. It'll be easier. And we'll just do that there. And now we can put this tree back. And I think we're gonna call it good. I think we're gonna leave it right like that. You know what? Let's put, just for added grins and giggles, let's do that. So I have a few extra pieces, and let's put this here, just so we can throw a few pre-made Lego things in here. Because the pre-made Lego stuff's always good to add to, you know what I mean? And we'll put another little, let's put this tree, let's do him there, and then we'll put that tree there. There we go, now I'm happy with it. And Sable, thank you, holy crap, James Jackson. But first of all, Sable Malamute says, happy Friday, everyone. Hope your loved ones are comfortable, safe, and healthy. And Sable just donated $4.99. And dude, James Jackson, wow, that's all I can say. James just donated $50. Dude, that's an insanely generous, you caught me off guard. That's an insanely generous donation, dude. Thank you so much. I can't say thank you enough. That was super kind of you, dude. I really, really, really appreciate that. And Fox Leader says, and right there's your camera. Absolutely. Oh, good point, John. Very good point. I do. I need trash cans. You got to have a trash can or two. I didn't even think of that. You are absolutely right, John. Let's do 2. Let me grab. But you are absolutely right. I was not thinking of that. I got so distracted from seeing a $50 donation. It was just holy crap. R. Claxton says, Bevins Bricks, have a street named in your city after your most favorite friend and colleague, Paul Bot. Paul Bot would like that. And Paul Bot would love that. So let's do, because you can see that one easy there. I don't want to mess up the flowers. Let's do one more right here at the base of the stairs. And I think we're going to call it good now. Salamute says, and the IRS just enters the chat. Probably. It wouldn't surprise me anyway. Let me see if I can focus the camera over and down, 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 down. Oops, too far down. I'm going to swap over to the studio cam, guys. And hopefully, now that we have isolated, I hope anyway, all the camera issues we were having, I'm going to go to the studio mode. And I want to zoom in so you guys can kind of, because it's going to be hard for you to kind of see where I'm going, but I'm going to try and show you where I'm going with this housing area, because it goes right in this spot here. Michael says at the $6,000 threshold, incorporate. And James Jackson says, just keep up the amazing work you are doing. And again, James, again, thank you so much. That was, like I said, it was extremely generous of you, my friend. I really do appreciate that. You have no idea how much donations like that help my channel. But anyway, let me carry this dude over there. And let me get this. So I don't know if I might have to try and do that, Paul. Get out of there. See, part of the problem with that is I have to get a running inventory of everything that I own. Because what I would basically have to do, and again, it's not that it's a bad thing, if I incorporated the channel, what I would have to do is incorporate my Lego collection as part of that channel. And I am trying to tuck this power supply into my back pocket, because what I'm going to do once I get this over here, I'm going to plug it all together and plug it in. I guess I should have kept the camera focused out so you guys could have seen me carry this. wasn't thinking of that though. And I might have to turn. Let me set this down. Because now that I'm over by the TV, it might overpower my microphone. So with that, I want to turn the volume down. So when I'm standing over there, you're not getting blared out with music. At least that's what I'm trying to do anyway. There we go. Well, you guys can't even see. Oh, wasn't thinking. So you can't even see that I have it because I set it down right here. Anyway, let's pull that off, and now I'm going to slide it into this position. If I can pick it up. There we go. And I am going to knock, let's see, let's just pull. In this tree, I forgot to put my tubing in, but we're going to knock that out of the way real quick. This is where this guy is going. And there we have it. I will just leave that tree out, and I don't know. Let's see. Let's bring that back. I don't know if I can get this tree in this position. And see, this is why I was telling you guys it sucks. I'm going to have to put the tubing in that one because I forgot to. But while we are waiting, here's what we're going to do. So I got the power supply in my pocket. So let's plug all this goodies together. Let's see how it looks lit up in the city. So give me just a second to get all this stuff plugged back in. And what I really need to do is get everything set up and because I still got to order a few more power supplies to do everything that I'm wanting to do. That's got to come down to the end. Because then what my intention is once I get all the power supplies, I'll be able to just kind of bring stuff over, drop a cord down under the table, and then plug it in. And there's that. Now I should be able to. Oh, that looks good, guys. That looks really good. You have no idea. I'm going to show you though. Ready? Do. There we have it. It is lit, guys. I think it looks really good. Let me back off. I can write a lot of things off already though, Paul, because I am operating under a doing business as, and I do have a tax ID. So I already do write off a lot of different things. Just trying to zoom that out just a little bit so you guys can get a better view of that little section of the city. So now as you can see what I'm trying to show you, Shane Hart says it looks so rad. Lego Joe says I'm back. Shane Hart says looks amazing. No, I'm already considered a business. That's why I said I do already have a DBA, doing business as. I am going to definitely be putting some more antennas on towers and things like that. Paul Bott says awesome sauce. Aaron says so pumped. Kip Hoffman says sweet. Lego Joe says looks really good, bro. McCub Animation says just finished transferring 3 modulars to Mills. Awesome, my friend. Welcome to the Mills Lane. But anyway, as you guys can see, so I have it zoomed like really close in, and I can zoom it out, but this is starting to fill in really nicely. I don't know that you can really see down in here, but this street is freaking awesome. Because this is the Ghostbusters house. And then you have all these street lights going, and I wish I could bring the camera over there. My cable is not long enough. That's why I got a zoomable camera. But dude, this looks awesome. I got to do a city update and show you. It really does. It looks freaking amazing. And let me just zoom back a little bit. Just a little bit. We're not going to go too far back. And then I'm going to come over here and show you the other view. This is my other view. I love this view. I need to get back to that airport at some point because, man, that thing just, it's bad mamba jamba. Joe Krabs says I'm going to cry. Let's get it to where you can get the whole city in the camera view. And the Beatles fan keeps saying Penny Lane. And yes, Penny Lane is a Beatles song. But yeah, I really got to get more lights in here. I got to get a lot more lit. Because you know what sucks is if I had all my power supplies hooked up, these buildings right here, I already have lighting in. I have no way to plug them in because I got to get all my cables routed with my power supplies under the table. Shane says it blends so well. CC says I vote for the city update. Joe Krabs says I may cry. Fox Leader, I do have a cell phone tower actually. I don't know, let's see if we can zoom in to show you. Let's do it that way. I don't have them all throughout the city yet, but I do have a cell phone tower. It is right here. I think you can see it anyway. And I just realized my light must have came unplugged because this is my, I never ran the light to it. I was gonna put a flashing red light on the cell phone tower though, but that is one cell phone tower. And then I have another one over on that side of the table back in the back, but you can't see it. So, but I do have a cell phone tower in the city. Eccentric Brick says, man, that looks real. Fox Leader says most of the city's in a blackout, and yeah, that pretty much is what it is. I do have the diner, and like I said, I don't have the cables ran over there so I can turn them on. That's my problem. I don't have my cables ran over there. And that's why I said I need to get some more work done on my power supplies and whatnot. And I'm trying to get this to kind of zoom back out just a little bit. But we're getting there, guys. I'm getting more and more lit because what I'm trying to do, my current focus is what I'm trying to do is I'm working on this side of the table and I'm trying to slowly work that way so that way I'll keep having different portions as I go getting illuminated as it progresses. That way you get a really, really, really cool lighting effect and then you get a more of a depth effect as well. It is the electrician's fault. They're on strike, like Michael said. And you know what? Because I was gonna put the cloth back. It's just, man, it was so wrinkled. It looked hideous. That was the biggest reason why I took the backdrop that I had up, down, because it did. It looked absolutely horrible, and to me anyway, in photos, and that's why I'm going to just paint it. I know of a few different techniques I can use, and that's what I'm going to do. I was just trying to focus that back over there just a little bit. Let me get back over to my build table, because I think what I'm going to do now, guys, I almost think I'm going to grab my Avengers Tower, because that thing is in dire need of some love. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Avengers Tower needs to get placed over here and we can play with that. Yeah, yeah, it's funny you say that because that's what I just said I was going to work on, that the Avengers are hogging all the power. And you're probably right. They probably are. And I am trying to clear some space. Get these guys out of the way, and let's see if we can pull you off the table without breaking you. And here we go. Avengers Tower base. There we go. Now that we need to scoot back just a little bit because this is a big building. It's a very big building. Huge, unfortunately. Makes it a little difficult sometimes, but let me get these trees out of the way because we are done with that. Yes, there's a walkway down the middle. I have a walkway around the back of the table. I have a walkway on both sides of the table also. Awesome, Eccentric Bricks, because Eccentric Bricks is quite the artist, for those of you that don't know. And he does have an Instagram as well. And I don't know if you can see it above me, though. There's two pictures up here. Yeah, you should be able to see them. These two, trying to get my fingers adjusted correctly. There we go. These two pictures right here is stuff that Eccentric Bricks actually did. They are amazing looking pictures as well. 1967 is when you were born, Michael? Is that what I'm taking that as? Well, that is the trick. McBoy Animations. What I have to do is, and I know it's going to be a nightmare. I'm going to tell you guys that now. What I physically have to do, and that's why I always tell people that there will not really be much of an interior in this. This is going to end up getting filled with Duplo. Yeah, I'm sorry, Peanutly. I did kind of eat up. Well, I'll show you. It's a little over 1,000 of them there. So yeah, I have been eating a large quantity of the window market up. I've also been buying a large quantity of these 1x2 by 5 bricks up as well, because that's what my center supports are. But one thing I hate to admit, and I screwed up, but when I put this on the plate, the whole freaking thing's got to go over one stud. Doesn't that suck? So that is one of the things I have to do. I got to move this whole freaking build over one stud. Isn't that fun? Yeah, speaking of the tower again, T-Bone 98 just made me remind me of what I was starting to say. And that is, I've had a bunch of different people tell me they can't wait to see the interior of it. And this portion of the building, due to the fact that, yes, I am a window hog, but this portion of the build, due to the fact of what I have to do in order to support the existing building top, is it's going to get filled with Duplo. Just to kind of give you a quick idea. So as you can see, that big mass of Duplo is what will get built inside of this thing. And what I'm going to do with that is I will have some interior, I'll build like a black facade of a wall, I guess would be the best way to put it. So that way when you're looking at it, it really keeps the windows dark. And then what I'm going to do is, because I've got this plate here that I have placed, the blue plate, is my marker, because this blue plate that I have made is the physical size of my Avengers Tower base. And that was how I know what I have to build underneath of. So this is my marker for knowing that this is where all my weight is going to be getting pushed on with this. Michael said he said Mills Master. Ain't that the truth? Brink Lake is closed because Daryl makes an order. I'm not that bad. Come on now. I save some sarts for people. I do buy a lot though. I will be the first to admit I probably buy more than I should. But it's, I get on there and it's hard to let go. When I see a good deal, it's like, oh, I need that. Oh, I gotta have some of those. How big is my Lego table? The entire length, running north to south, I'm trying to remember, is 24 feet. And then going east to west, I am 16 feet, is how big my current table size is. Hey Gaffer, how the heck are you? And thank you, Gaffer. Yes, and I'm about to rip it apart, believe it or not, because I got to move it all one plate west or east. And let's see, let's get that out. So again, that's just my marker. And now what we have to do is these got to get pulled off. And this is the not so fun part of making a mistake on a large building, is you just, it's kind of like pulling off a Band-Aid. You just got to go for it. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go for it. So if I can get you guys to come up, we're going to try and rip off the Band-Aid. Come on. You can work with me. Come on, Mr. Yakamoto. We're not gonna hurl. There we go. And just, so now you guys can see that yes, even I make some pretty large mistakes. So now the first thing I'm gonna do is just kind of swing that side out of the way. Nope, not Hulk smash. I'm being gentle because I don't want to totally destroy it. And now we're just gonna move everything. Like I said, it's annoying, but that is what I got to do. It's all got to move one stud. Doesn't that suck? And what was that? R. Claxton said, Bevan's Bricks, I heard through the grapevine at Paul bought 10 Bricklink stores out. Then Eccentric Brick says, Daryl builds Duplo, like said, leave space in between the windows and wrap around with LEDs. That is what I intend on doing. So I'm going to leave, there should be a 5-stud gap, or I'm sorry, 6-stud gap on the entire building. And that is what my intention is. I'm not going to just totally light it up. I think what I'm going to try and do is block out some of the windows or something. At least that was my initial thought anyway, but we'll see what happens. We will take it as it comes. John McKin, did I miss him? Oh, I guess I did. Dude, how the heck are you, John? I haven't seen you in a while. I know you got a lot going on there at the homestead. I know you're back to work and doing well there, but I know you got a few problems you're dealing with at the house, and I'm hoping that's subsided some for you. And Lego's owner saying, any chance you can give a tip for those who are thinking or wanting to become an electrician? The best thing I can tell you to do is, at least this is how it works by me. IBEW, they should have postings. I mean, they post everywhere. Here by me, they post online. They post directly on their website. They post, oh God, the website's probably the best place to find it, but usually what they do is they will post at least, or they take apprentices, I should say, at least once a year, and you got to look for it. So I would check their website every single day until you finally find the posting for the apprenticeship. And once they finally post that, jump on it and apply. And even if you fail, I just want to say, do not give up. You can go back and try again, and try again, and try again. And that's what I tell everybody. If you want to be an electrician, that is the way to go. But because that's the best way you're going to get it. And the reason that I say that is with the IBEW, they will physically pay for your apprenticeship. What I mean by that is because they have their own teaching facility, their own hall. You do have to buy books. You could even go, if you really wanted to try and impress them, you can go in advance and try and take some classes. But that can get expensive, and that's why I always recommend to people, if they're wanting to become an electrician, just directly apply to IBEW online, and you'd be surprised at how quickly you get contacted. how big is the base for this portion of the build. What did I just do? The base for this is two 48 by 48 base plates. So it's 48 by 96 is what the base plate is on this. And then the base plate of my physical Avengers Tower, and I'm still trying to just kind of rip stuff down and put it, I guess I don't need to put that back up yet. My physical Avengers Tower is 32 by 64. And that's got to go forward. This has got to come up. Eccentric Brooks says Brick says that's huge. G. Jacobson says it's a good trade. I was active in it for 10 years. And it is a very good trade. It's a very good way to make a lot of money. The thing I will tell you is expect to work a lot of overtime. At least when you're starting out. Do not say no to overtime. That's not, it's not looked upon well, but it is a great trade. Without a doubt. It's, in my opinion, it was one of the best moves I ever made, was going into trades. And I did that by the recommendations. Let me turn this camera around so you guys can see a little better what I'm doing. But I did it because of my father. Kept telling me, hey, go into trades, go into trades, go into trades. And that's what I ended up doing. So I have to give a very special thank you to my father for getting me into trades. And it was definitely one of the best decisions I ever made in my life. Honestly, McBoy Animations, I'm going to tell you, I started my apprenticeship young, and again, it was because my father talked me into it, and I'm glad he did. But, and I don't know how old you are, but I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, some people do, I guess, maybe, but it's really rare that most people know what they want to do with their life. Even when I became an electrician, I really wasn't sure I wanted to be an electrician. It was just, my dad convinced me because of the amount of money they could make and all that. My dad talked me into it, and that's why I finally went ahead and did it. But do I regret doing it? No. Do I like being an electrician anymore? It's not that I don't like it, but I can tell you, now that I'm old, it wears the body out. When you're in trades, because you are doing a lot of physical labor. But if you're going to pick a trade, I can tell you that the electrical trade is by far the best one, and it's going to be the least amount of physical labor compared to a lot of different trades. So if you're considering trades, I really recommend, out of any trade, actually there's 3 trades that I will tell you if you are wanting to get into trades. Electrical is obviously one. There's heating and cooling, which is another one. And then there's plumbers. And I'm going to tell you my reasoning. And again, this was because of my father. There's 3 jobs you can have in your life, and you will never be unemployed. Those 3 jobs are what I just told you, which is heating and cooling, plumbing, and HVAC. And this is why I tell you that you'll never be, and I'm sorry, I need to move that camera up, don't I? And this is why I tell you you'll never be unemployed. Everybody, I don't care who they are, I don't care what company you're talking about, any of that. Everybody needs to have electricity in their house or their business. Every company needs toilets to work and function. And everybody, houses, factory, all of it, it doesn't matter for all 3 of these trades. Everybody wants heat in the winter and air conditioning in the summer. And that, my friend, is why you will never be unemployed. And that is why I say, if you're going to do something in life and you don't know what to do and you want to make a good living and always have a job, I really, really, really recommend those 3 trades. Michael says gunsmithing was a good trade. That's something I really don't know a lot about, but I can see that being a good trade too, though, Michael, absolutely. So I can definitely see that being a good one as well, but that's not something I'm aware of or know about. I did 2 years arts degree and 1 year in product placement, and just been a home artist, job or no job. There you go. Kenneth Swan says plumbing payday is on Friday, poop rolls downhill, and don't chew your fingernails. Actually, the way that I was always taught with plumbing is, yes, crap rolls downhill, payday is Friday, hot's on the cold, or I'm sorry, hot's on the left, cold's on the right. And you are a plumber, you are right. That is the big joke, because I work with a lot of plumbers, and we kind of bust their chops all the time on that. I'll be the first to admit it. We do bust their chops a lot on that. But they can take it. They're good. They're good about it. And I'm trying to totally keep from destroying this, so I'm trying to be gentle, guys. So please have a little patience with me, because I really hate to have to redo all the work that I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So actually, I can run that in there, can't I? Yes, I can. So let's just do this. And, or do I want to do that? Because that's going to 1, 2, 3, and then I got a 1. Yeah, heck with it. I can fix it later. I want to get it tiled here, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because if I don't tile this, there's an overhang on the front of the building. I'll never be able to tile underneath it if I don't do it now. I figure since I already made the mistake and I'm relocating it, I'm trying to correct my mistakes before I plant everything back down. That is, if you're willing to do the schooling, that is another great way to go as electrical engineer. You're absolutely correct, Jonathan. You are more than welcome, McBoy Animations. And again, for any of those things that I just told you, any of those trades, again, the best thing to do is to go directly through the trade school, because they give you the pay, the time, the whole 9 yards. As far as plumbers or HVAC, I don't, it's like, I think HVAC, you can go like through the operators union, but it's great ways to go either way. That is definitely the best way to get into trades. And that is also very good advice, Michael. Do what you enjoy. That's the thing, because I'm assuming, and I don't want to know your age, so you don't have to share that, McBoy Animations, but like I said, a lot of people, especially when you're very young, just don't know what to do in life. But I will tell you, as long as you have a good work ethic, trades would love you. Hello, Ninja Master Nick. Architects make a lot of money. Yes, they do. Make a whole lot of, structural engineers make a lot of money too. Zachary says he just finished his degree in cybersecurity. See, that's, again, that's, I know they're, because that's here's my thing with jobs in general, looking forward towards the future, I guess we can say. And it's quite simply this: if you want a good job, to me anyway, it's number one is trades. And I say trades because nobody wants to do trades anymore. A lot of people, most people, I don't know why it is, when you mention trades, a lot of people think it's like beneath them because it's manual labor. But man, I tell you what, there's a lot of money in that manual labor. But the other thing that I was trying to make my point with, and then I kind of just distracted myself. The other thing I was going to say, though, is with modern technologies and all that, it's really good to get into anything with computers and whatnot. I can't say that they pay a lot with all of them, but You know, they do what they pay what they pay. But I know like security is a big thing for a lot of people. So that is definitely a good passion or a good thing to get into. But again, I don't know a lot about it, so I personally can't speak on that. And please don't fall. It can be painful, can it? Trying to fix a mistake and not just totally let everything just get broken. And I think that's all moved. I want to tile this in now. And with that, there is my bag of plates, tiles. And good evening to the... Took me a minute. Utah. Good evening to Utah, my friend. Now, what is STEM? I've heard that term before, but I'm not sure what it is. G. Jacobson's, yes, that is another good trade. You are absolutely correct. You know, Joshua, honestly, I wouldn't say it's funny. A lot of people are looking into new careers because these last 2 years have burned a lot of people out on a lot of different things. And that's why we have the big quit that's going on, so to speak, right now. At least that's what they're basically calling it. And Chip Off the Old Block says, give that like button some love, and thank you so much, buddy. The next thing I got to do before I go any further is I need to pull this back, and I got to tile that front line in before I screw it up so I can get this placed. And didn't I already grab those? I'm looking for my 1x, yes I did. So let me walk onto the other side and put these in real quick, because we've got to tile in the edge. Living on the edge. Do 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 do. But no, I commend anybody that wants to go into trades. Any trade, and it doesn't matter what the trade is. It's just, I commend anybody for any trade. To me, it's an honorable way to make a living. And get that, and I will sit back down in a moment, guys. I gotta get, I need a 1x6 to finish that, and then I can place that back. Because while I got it up, I want to fill in. There you are. Fill in all the tile spots that I know I won't be able to get to. The Great Resignation, exactly. I forget, because they just announced some more numbers today to that, and they were pretty large. I will say if you have a problem with math, I don't recommend doing electrical. You will find you'll have a very hard time, because a lot of the schooling, that's quite simply what it all revolves around, is knowing a lot of math, a whole lot of math. So if you do struggle with math, my recommendation to you is plumbing or heating and cooling. You would have a better time. Well, you can get into signage too. Sign trade's really good. I don't know how to get into that one though. Here's my suggestion though with any trade, because there's a lot of different trades you can get into. Because even carpentry is a good trade. But here's the problem you're going to find with a lot of different trades. And it's quite simply this, that it can be hard to get a job in some of those trades. And here's what I mean by that. So I know some really good carpenters. I mean, very good carpenters. But the problem, at least here in Michigan, and I thought it was this way everywhere, the problem with carpentry is quite simply this. You don't have to carry a license to be a carpenter. And because of that, you have so many people that all they have to do is say, hey, I'm a carpenter, I'm good at carpentry or whatever. And bada boom, bada bing, they got a job and they're hired. And because they're not state licensed and state regulated, you will find it's harder to get a good job even if you are a good carpenter. So that's why I recommend the 3 trades that I recommended anyway. I recommend those quite simply because they are all licensed trades. They are all controlled by the state. And yes, you are absolutely right. There is no college debt when you go into trades, so that is another big advantage of it. There's a lot of math for bending, but see, that's the thing. It's when you're, and I don't want to go too deep into all the trade stuff because I see my numbers are falling like a rock. But I'll touch on this one more time, and then I will jump subjects. But when it comes to like bending your pipe and all that, once you get out of school and you start using benders, Greenlee, triple nickel, a Hickey, whatever it is you're using to bend the pipe, you learn all the little shortcuts. You know, like if you're doing with a 3/4 pipe, you know, you measure 7.5 from the end to start your bend, and that gives you your take up and all those little tricks. So you don't have to sit there and do all the calculations. But they're not going to teach you all that in school. They want you to know the math. You don't start learning all the little tricks until you actually get out in the field and start doing everything. I can imagine I would not want to be into photography, and here's why I say that, Joshua Long Photography. And it's not to be insultive, so please don't take this the wrong way. But anybody with a phone claims that they're a photographer. And I mean anybody with a decent cell phone or buys a camera, all of a sudden they're a photographer. And that is part of what makes, and don't get me wrong, there's people that are actual photographers and then there's all these wannabe people. But it's just like, that's why I was saying with trades and things of that nature, because it's just like the carpentry trade. Anybody that knows how to use a table saw all of a sudden is a carpenter, and that's not the case. But there is no state licensing on it, so there's no way to determine a difference between those that are actually skilled and those that are just claiming to be or know something. And absolutely no state licensing, and that's why I said I would only do trades that are licensed, state licensing. If you don't have a state license for the trade, it is not worth bothering. Welding's a good trade. I will tell you that I know more dead welders and painters than any other tradesman, and a lot of that is quite simply because of the amount of fumes that you are breathing in when you are welding. And there's nothing wrong with welding, don't get me wrong. I have arc, MIG, gas, all that in my garage because I do it myself. I used to do a lot of different body work and stuff like that. But it's bad to do for a living for your health. And you are absolutely right, Joshua, and that's the sad part about it, because there's a lot of, because to me there's more to photography than just knowing how to click a picture, but it's unfortunate that it doesn't work that way anymore. And I've got to grab some, well, actually let me finish putting these windows in, then I got to go grab some plates. Most trade, and see, a lot of the trades are dying too. I guess I'll keep talking because the numbers kind of went back up. A lot of trades are quite simply dying too because they're making a lot of things, and I'll give you a really good example, plumbing. They're killing the plumbing trade by doing all these shark bites and stuff like that, because now more and more people can just go to the hardware, buy a shark bite, slap it on their pipe, and now the pipe is fixed. Where before, years ago, if you were going to get into the plumbing trade, you had to know how to solder joints and all that type of stuff, and it's not really required anymore. It's it's been dumbed down in the aspect. But electrical is the same way. Even my trade has been dumbed down in a lot of different ways. They've really simplified things, and a lot of people try to still justify why we're paid what we're paid. And don't get me wrong, I agree that I'm paid what I'm paid, because what we always tell a lot of people is you're with trades, and it's any trade, I don't care what trade you're talking about, you're paid for what you know, not for what you do. And it's because, like with plumbing, you're dealing with, quite simply, you're dealing with human waste. And you have to be cautious with that. There's things you have to take precautions for. There's different codes, different things. Electrical, you're taking risks. You can get shocked. Painting, there again, or welding, you're taking risks. You're breathing in vapors, you're breathing in fumes, and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, very good, Bill. 'Cause like I said, it's a great trade, and I would still recommend it to anybody. But like I said, they are killing it because they're dumbing it down and making it to where anybody can do it. And the funny thing is I say anybody can do it, but that's really not the case. They've made it to where people think they can do it, is what it boils down to. And they do all this hacked stuff. But everything has definitely been dumbed down over the years. No, oxygen acetylene welding is not used at all, buddy. But that, when I was younger, because I have a set of torches and all that in my garage, because I still will do oxygen and acetylene. And that was what I used to always do for body work on a car. And the reason I would do that, and mind you, you can spot weld and all that now, and they got these spot welders that are, they take any of the technicality of it out of it. You can just take your gun and just put it in there and just pull it, just it's welded. All you got to do is know what the thickness of the gauge of the steel is, and this machine will do it for you now. You just got to pull the trigger. But I always did a lot of gas welding because that was the best way to do stuff on cars back when I used to do automotive work. Yes, I agree with you, Dr. Zombie Cakes. The long-term quality is definitely questionable, but most people don't care, quite simply, unfortunately. And it's snowing again outside. That's not a good thing. No, there is never any good money in working in... I can tell you right now, that is one job I will tell you that I would never recommend to anybody, and that is anything to do with the services. What I mean by services is dealing with the public. And like when you're working in a grocery store, you're dealing in a service market. It's like working at fast food chains, restaurants, any of that. You can make money in some spots, whatever, but it's not a good way to make a living. And the problem with it is you have to deal with a lot of unruly people for no good reason at all. And there's no required knowledge or anything to do those jobs. So the jobs are paid very low. But that is not a job that, like I said, I would recommend to anybody. I wouldn't do it. It's the reward is not there. And everybody's just, and that's the problem with our country today, is we've turned into nothing but a service industry country. And that, quite simply, my friends, is what's kind of ruining our economy, because everything is now revolving around services anymore. And thank you, Eccentric Pricks. I appreciate that. Like I said, normally I won't talk like this because sometimes people get upset, because it kind of borderlines politics, if you will. At least some people say it does. And yeah, I like it. But I don't mind talking like this. It's just usually I'll start getting people, sometimes I'll get complaints. And that's why then I'll like pull back a little. It's like, okay, I'll shut my mouth. So you guys are catching me on a good night. Oh, absolutely. Stick welding sucks, man. There's no reason to do it either. Stick welding is a dying thing. There's no need to do stick welding anymore. Not with all the, because mine, like when I was in school, there was like TIG welding, for example. That was something that was just starting to come out. So when I was in school, they wanted you, because MIG was brand new when I was in school. So they wanted you to know how to MIG, they wanted you to know how to arc, and they wanted you to know how to gas. TIG was not something that was really even thought of. It was a brand new technology, for lack of a better word. But now it's definitely something that people look at, and it's much cleaner and a nicer looking weld. Eccentric Brick says we need more Lego builders like Daryl, and I appreciate that, Eccentric Bricks. Yes, our generation was taught to be respectful and polite, but unfortunately, in the service industries nowadays, people are not taught that way anymore. And it's because trying to watch my bounds. We've created a generation of participation people, I guess would be the nicest way I can put it. I totally agree with you. There's no place like homes. To me, and that again, that is part of the really trying to watch myself on some of the stuff I say, because like I said, some people get upset. I was trying to think of what I was going to say, and then I was going to correct myself because I didn't want it to come out too harsh. But there we go. The problem we have today with a lot of educating facilities, I guess that would be a good way to put it, is I'm trying to mince my words, is in schools and such, that's all they do is they preach and they teach that you have to go to college. And that's part of I'm just going to say it, it's part of the brainwashing system, in my opinion, with schools. And part of that is, and this is just my opinion, part of that is in goal to basically keep you in debt. Again, these are just my opinions, my thoughts and views, and it's because all these educators and other industries want you to be in debt. They want you to constantly owe them so you can be a slave to the machine. And I'm going to stop with that before I go too far. Because like I said, I don't want to upset anybody. And unfortunately, in today's society, people are easily upset anymore. Joshua says, free rants on Discord. It used to be the customer was always right, but it was the customer was always right when people were treated with respect. And that is not that hasn't been the case in quite some time. People don't, nobody really, to be perfectly fair and honest, nobody knows how to treat anybody with respect anymore. It's all about it's all about how much you can berate somebody, I guess would be a good way to put it, just to get your way, because you automatically think you're right and everybody else is wrong type of mentality. No, there's no reason at all for school. Well, see, that's, to me, one of the biggest problems with our country is the education system. And what I mean by that, yes, you're absolutely right. There is no reason in the world that an education should be that expensive. But they can't keep you as a slave to the system if they don't do that. Is that going? Yes, that goes there. And the fact that they're, because from the time you start going to school, it's beat into your head. Get an education, get an education, get an education, go to school, go to college, go to college. You have to go to college to get a good job. You have to go to college to make money. You have to, It is, and it's not even that. When you go to school, you're basically taught your whole life, you're conditioned. And from the minute you start into school, you are conditioned to be a slave to the system. You're conditioned that you need to go to school so you can get into debt. You're conditioned that you need to work for somebody. You're conditioned that you have to have all these different things in order to be successful. And it's really disgusting what it has become. And I'm starting to get on my rants that I do at home, and I should probably stop. Education used to be a profession. You are absolutely correct. And it's not anymore. It's basically what I even call, because I'm in management now. I'm still an electrician, don't get me wrong, and I manage an electrical department, but I'm in management. And it's like I always tell everybody, it's like, well, what do you do, blah, 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 blah. And it's like I always tell everybody is I am a high-priced babysitter. That's all I am. I am a high-paid babysitter because that is really all I do. My job, my whole job being in management is quite simply this, to take everybody's excuse away to not work. That's all I'm doing. I'm constantly going around trying to find reasons why people are trying to get out of work and explaining to them that this is why you have to work to get the jobs done, because it's, well, I can't find the part, I can't do this, I can't pull that, I need another hand, blah, blah, blah. There's tons of excuses, but that's what it boils down to is me being in management is, like I said, very simply, I am just a high-paid babysitter. I wouldn't say that, it's not that we're overpopulated, if that's what you mean by there's too many people in the generation. I don't feel that there's too many people in the generation. Really, recently there was a study done, to go on to that topic for a minute. There was recently a study done, because like when I was growing up, we were talking about overpopulation, blah, 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 blah. If we were really having overpopulation, right now there are so many open job markets right now, and there's nobody to work them. So I wouldn't say we're there's not an overpopulation problem. Absolutely, my man. Absolutely, Russell. G. Jacobson says, please continue. See, my problem is I sometimes, because I have done rants before, and I started losing numbers, and that's why I try to watch my P's and Q's. Shane says and thank you, Kenneth Swan. He says, I think you're 100% right. Shane says, here's a job. You don't have to like it. I will give you money, and there's you have many Lego. But you are right in what you're saying about, it's like the old adage, you can teach a man, you can make a man a sandwich, or you can cook a man a fish, or you can teach him how to fish. You can cook a man a fish and he can eat for a day, or you can teach him how to fish and he can eat for life. And I think there's a lot of things that have been missed in today's society in that way. We need to start teaching people the basics of life, because part of my problem with the education system is there's really not enough focus on life skills is a big issue. Gaffer says, sometimes a babysitter, sometimes a cat herder, sometimes therapy. G. Jacobson says, if teachers were smart, they would have went into a different line of work. Honestly, there are still good teachers out there. Let me say this. There are teachers that I still think mean well and want to do well. The problem is the system won't allow them to do what they really want to do. They try the best they can, but they just can't. And it's like with any profession. Once you get in it long enough, you get beat down and you just kind of fall into the rhythm. So, I mean, I still think teachers are a good thing. It's just, it's hard to find good ones. And a lot of that, again, it's like what we were talking about earlier. It's quite simply the fact of, it's with the new generations and stuff, nobody has respect anymore. And with a lot of these teachers, I mean, think about it. If you were a teacher and you had to deal with unruly parents every day, because every day little Johnny's down in the office because little Johnny's not listening, and when the parents come in, little Johnny is a perfect angel. The parents won't discipline them, they won't do anything. It kind of ties the hands of the educators. So there is kind of a tit-tat in that particular situation. And again, it revolves around the fact that nobody knows respect or any of that anymore. So you do still have that issue as well. Oh, no problem, Michael. Trust me, you didn't miss much. Just missed some worldly banter. And G. Jacobson, very good point. If I'm watching my P's and Q's comment. Yes, good old days is a matter of perspective sometimes. You are absolutely right. But, again, like I said, I feel that people had more respect than they do nowadays for people. Let me put it that way. I guess that's probably about the best way I can put it anyway. Me personally, rest in peace, Pat Morita. Did he just die or something? And yes, I do agree with that, Michael. And yes, I'm doing that right. And you know what? I think I could have swore. I could have swore I had a bunch of hinge plates or hinge bricks, and I'm wondering. Oh, there they are. Okay. I was about to say, what the heck, man? Let me grab that. I thought I'd lost some pieces. Or I thought I forgot to order some pieces. And that's my personal opinion, Gaffer. I totally agree with you on that. And like I said, but it's, again, just my opinion. Let's do that there. I'm not going to argue that at all either, Steve. Not going to argue that at all. Yes, they can, Michael. You are absolutely correct. And my official answer, well, Mike, I have to say, and I'm not just saying this, and I know a lot of people probably think this automatically. Me personally, I think I have the most well-behaved kids in the world. I have actually have had people walk up to me in public just to thank me for how well-mannered my kids were. But I wasn't afraid. I'm old school in how I raised my kids. I guess I'll put it that way. I raised them the way my father raised me, and I feel that I turned out pretty daggone awesome. I knew if I was going to screw up, my dad would have lit my butt up. But that is not how people raise kids today. Trying to catch up on comments, guys, because I know I missed a few. Oh God, no, Bob Lawrence, you are absolutely correct. Some of the things, and thank you, Joshua. Some of the things, 'cause I'll be honest, I can be a very brash individual. As a matter of fact, and keep in mind, I'm in trades. Trades has always been kind of, you have to have a thick skin to work in the industry. If you don't have a thick skin, you're going to go home and cry every night. And a lot of the things that we say and do in trades, we're not supposed to do. And if people heard some of the things we said and did, we could be fired for them. But fortunately, everybody that I work with is old school. And even though I still try to watch my P's and Q's because you are supposed to, I can still get away with some stuff as long as I'm not in front of other management, I guess would be a good way to put it, if that makes sense. No, and they want you to believe that, Michael. Me personally, though, I still discipline my kids the way that I see saw fit. The problem is, though, is everybody is fearful because the repercussions are a lot different than they used to be. No, absolutely, Michael. It doesn't have to be physical. In regards to my kids when they were growing up, I only ever spanked my two oldest, and I only spanked them each once. That's all I had to do. And the reason that I did that was because they were hitting each other. But, and like, again, that was the only time I ever had to do it. And it wasn't like I was beating them, you know what I mean? It was just a tap on the rear, and no, you can't do that, and that hurts, blah, 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 blah. But a lot of it is just simply knowing how to talk to the kids, sitting them down. Don't let them get away with anything. Quit giving them everything just to make them quiet, you know what I mean? But to me, the biggest problem with today, and that's why, because we were talking just a little bit ago about the good old days, and this is why I always say the good old days, and some people say, well, the good old days weren't as good either, and it's, to me they were, and it's probably because I grew up then, but my biggest reference and reason for saying that I like the good old days is quite simply this, and this would actually screw my channel if it was the case, but it was the lack of all the modern technology nonsense. All the modern technology has just literally ruined people's social interaction abilities in general. And that to me is why I always reference the good old days, because the good old days was you went outside, you found somebody to play with, and when the street lights came on, you knew you better get your butt in the house. You didn't have to have a cell phone or the internet or anything to communicate with people. Communication was quite simply done by hollering out the front door of your house. Hey, let's go play. Let's go play some kickball. Let's play football. Let's get together, whatever. And there they are. And that's why I always reference the good old days, because to me, there's a big lack of communication today, just quite simply because nobody knows how to communicate without grabbing a phone and typing it to somebody. Nobody knows how to look anybody in the eye and tell them how they truly feel. Nobody knows how to physically be able to have a conversation that could be hurtful of someone's feelings without doing it through a phone or a chat program. Shane says 80s, some guys would be rough and tough. True, I guess I'm just at work to work. Not to be made fun of. Different time, I am an old school, but not rough and tough. Thick skin in my own way. And there's nothing wrong with that. And G. Jacobson says, I am the last of four, and my parents were old when I was born. I learned so much from them. My dad was a World War II vet and grew up in the Great Depression. What he taught me was priceless and can't be bought. And I can only imagine, my friend. Lego Joe says people are always on their phones nowadays and they hardly ever see a piece of sunlight for months. Absolutely, man. And, you know, because this was something, just to throw something out there, because even to this very day, and that's why, you know, I always say the boss is telling me it's time to eat. And I know some people laugh and whatever about that, and I'm actually serious when I say that. And it's not because that she's necessarily the boss per se, but my point in saying that, though, is to me, it was always important to eat together as a family. When my wife texts me to tell me it's time to eat, I'm at the table, my wife's at the table, my kids are all at the table, and that is our communication time of day. That's something that we have done since the day my kids were born, and unfortunately, that is something that most people do not do nowadays. And to me, I think just that one little thing, from always having that daily family time, has helped keep my family tight. It's helped keep everybody more in touch, able to communicate, and things of that nature. And it's something that, because I've actually had people, every time my kids have a friend over, and we have dinner, and they have to come and sit at the table. After dinner, they always kind of go into the room, and I always laugh because my kids will say, "Oh, you know, Lou was like, why do you have to sit like that?" and so on and so forth. But the funny thing is most of their friends, after having dinner at our house, usually their comment is, "I wish my parents did that." And, you know, it almost makes me feel bad when I hear kids say that, because it's like, "Aw." You know, because that is really all people want, is a little bit of attention. Unplugging social media is something that people can do in this modern era that is great. You know, the cable cutting, you know, is what people called it there for a while, as far as the aspect of everybody cutting the cord. That's what I was looking for. And that's another thing you can do, just cut off social media, any media, not just social media, the news, all of it. Just cut it out. Russell says he is the last bulwark from her being totally spoiled. Art Claxton says that he agrees the issue at his job, management, doesn't work to communicate. But if you try to communicate with someone, you either get in trouble and management gets mad for communication. Yes, there's a lot of truth to that. Did I miss a comment? Absolutely, G. Jacobson. I totally agree with you. To me, like I said, and it had always surprised me how many. I got to go grab some more parts. It always surprised me because I've never had any of my kids' friends come over to our house for dinner. I've never had any of them ever come to my house that have ever said that they had to sit at the table and eat with their family. And like I said, it's what we've always done. Because to me, that is an important way and an important part of the day. I'm trying to pick up all from when I did my haul the other day. I dumped bricks all over the floor. But to me, that's one of the most important parts of the day, is to quite simply just have that small amount of communication time. And it amazes me because I have never had any of my kids' friends come over and say that their parents do that. It's usually, with most people, even if they kind of somewhat eat together, it's their mom or their dad or whoever will bring home food or whatever, and it's time to eat. Everybody comes and gets their food, and then they go to their retrospective rooms or whatever it may be. Lego Cho says, I really love these streams. They help me relax, kick back, build, and enjoy everything. And that's awesome, Lego Joe. And I need to get this row up so I can start coming that way. Definitely agree. Life's too short for drama. Oh, I can't. And that's a funny thing because a lot of people try to contact me through Instagram, through Facebook, and a lot of other methods of media. And it's not to be mean, and people see that I post there and all that, but I don't think a lot of people realize I do a lot of that quite simply just trying to promote my channel because I'm trying to make my channel grow. And you can post all that directly from YouTube. I don't ever really get on any of those channels. I try to pay attention because I know a lot of people try to communicate with me that way as far as in regards to my YouTube, but a lot of the times though I miss comments or it can be weeks before I will respond to somebody, and it's just because I don't monitor or care about all those networks. I only do my YouTube. And even my YouTube, I don't, because I try to set certain times a day aside when I'm not on here streaming or whatever, that I will respond to comments. And to me, that's important because if you try to talk to people, because when I first started this, doing YouTube and all that, I tried to make sure I talked to everybody all day, every day. And it made me an angry person. It was very frustrating because I felt torn all the time. And now that I've kind of set it up to where I'll get on for 30 minutes and I'll respond to comments, or I'll do this or I'll do that, I'm a lot happier. My Jax, what it is Jax is trying to do all my postings, my social media, yes. And then my son, Dustin, which is my oldest, is starting to do all my instructions. And that is because of another issue. I had, for the longest time, I tried to help certain people, help them out with jobs and everything else, and I helped them so much that they don't want to help me anymore. And so it's called, okay, I'm going to keep it in the family. My son started showing interest, both of my sons started showing interest in wanting to come out here and help me and do things with me and all that kind of stuff. So now, and this is how I reward my kids also, is like the sales on my website. For all the instructions that my son makes, it's like I told him, anytime I sell one, the money's yours. And he is so freaking tickled and happy about that now. I cannot believe how many instructions he is trying to produce, just quite simply because any money that I get from the sales of any of my instructions that he makes, he knows that he gets now. And it was so cute, and I hope he's not watching because he'll choke me for calling it that word, but I thought it was so cute today because I have, on my website, everybody, at least I think everybody knows, I sell a lot of different instructions and other things. But so far my son has made 2 different instructions for me. He made the bridge for me, and then he also made one of my video game machines for me. And he's also working on a bunch of other stuff right now. So I'm like blown away at how well he's doing them and how quickly he's learning how to do them. Keep in mind, my son used to play with Lego, so it's not like he's starting from scratch. But anyway, because I just put up that the bridge instructions that he made for me, and we sold one the first day that I put it up, and to show him that, look, I'm paying you for your work, because that's how I'm treating it for him, giving it as a reward, kind of, sort of. I told you, I showed him, look, we sold one of those today. So I pulled the $5 out of my wallet, said, here you go, here's your $5. And the twinkle that I could see in his eye, because he just made those instructions, I just posted them, and he already sold one. The twinkle that was in his eye just made my day. I was so freaking happy to see how excited he got over just making $5 from instructions. That he went right back to his room when he got, because mind you, he works a full-time job. But he right after that, because we ate dinner, and he said, okay, Dad, I'm going back downstairs. What else do you want me to make? So I handed him a few things, and he said, I'll try and have at least one of these done tomorrow. And I'm like, son, there's no hurry, no rush, no any of that. And he's all, no, I want to get more of this stuff on your site, Dad. And to me, it's keeping everything at home is how I'm looking at it. And to know that my kids are happy to be working and helping and doing things with me, it just, to me, it makes my day. It really does. And it makes me proud to see how happy and how willing they are to help the old man out. And it's helping him too. So, but yes, my kids are definitely getting involved more and more. And it's making me a very proud dad, I have to say the least. Michael said, never had Lego as a kid, just started getting into the lifestyle for about 5 years now. I grew up with Lego, and Gaffer says that is awesome, making your kid feel a sense of co-ownership. Absolutely. Like I said, I want them to feel important and involved. And thank you, Lego Joe. I appreciate that. He says, I have raised great kids. Again, thank you so much. Oh, what I was going to say about Lego. As far as my experiences with Lego, it basically boils down to this for me. And it was quite simply, my father is the one that got me into Lego when I was a child. My first Lego set, I was 3 years old that my father bought me. And to me, because Lego to me is more than just, a lot of people, it's, when you say you build with Lego, the first comment or the first thought that a lot of people have is, oh, you play with the toy, and then you show them what you do, and then it's, holy crap, I couldn't imagine, I didn't know that was possible, or, you get comments along that line. And with me, the reason that I got into it, and I'm sorry, I started to kind of veer off there. For me, the reason that I got into it was because with my father, education was very, very important. And it didn't matter what the education was, my dad just always wanted me to be learning, working, figuring out, doing things. So I didn't struggle in life. That was it in a nutshell. And to my dad, Lego was nothing more than a teaching aid to him. It taught me motor skills. It taught me mechanical abilities, because a lot of the stuff that my dad used to buy for me when I was a kid anyway was the Technic stuff. So I was always learning about gears and drives and reduction ratios and things of that nature. And I mean, when I was really little, no, I didn't do those. Because my father had me out in the garage at the age of 10, and he was letting me rip motors apart and just learn and do stuff. He wanted me to know how to do things, and that was just the kind of dad I had. He was freaking amazing. And I've tried to do the exact same thing with my kids, but that was my point with Lego, though, is how I got into it was because for my father, it was a teaching aid. And so when I was little, I had tons of this stuff. And it's because my dad loved to buy me anything, any toy that was, in his eyes, something educational. And that was how I actually got into Lego and why I still have it to this day. Gaffer says, this is the perfect stream, building a bunch of chunks to lay down several new Mills roads tomorrow. That is awesome, my friend. Michael says, we played in the dirt, LOL, Army men, and played Army rotor bike. Oh, I did a lot of that too, don't get me wrong, man. And good night, Kyle. God bless to you as well, my friend. And absolutely, positive reinforcement for a job well done. You are absolutely correct. And I am all about rewarding my kids. Absolutely, and that does not go there. That's why I'm hoping that I will start selling more instructions, because the original person that was helping me, and I'm not going to go into it too much, very disappointed to say the least, though, and I'll leave it at that. But that's why, like I said, it just makes my day that my kids are willing to help, because it's kind of like, returning full circle, like what me and my dad used to do. The difference was with me and my dad, it was mechanical tools, learning about working in the garage. It's absolutely an investment tool. Absolutely. No, Lego to me, I mean, there is no better investment than Lego. Lego is like having quite simply, Lego is kind of like having a retirement account, because that's one of the things that I look at Lego with is, quite frankly, the fact that if anything ever happened, and that's something else that I always try to point out to my kids, if anything ever was to go awry and we needed money all of a sudden for some reason, and I got to put a different piece there. If I absolutely had to, I could start selling Lego immediately, just to give us some money to help out. And so to me, I look at Lego as an investment on top of the fact that it's a toy, it's a learning tool, it's, so many different things. Lego Joe, I typically won't talk about that stuff. All I will say is I believe in God, and I will leave it at that, because again, that can cause issues with that kind of stuff. It's the only reason I'll say that. I do believe in a higher power, and like I said, I won't say specifically any specific religion. And God bless you, my friend. So I will say that. Absolutely. G. Jacobson was talking about how it even helps with problem solving, creativity. He loves giving his daughter his ideas to let her figure it out and how to make them work. And yes, absolutely agree. And it's like, I still remember sitting down on the floor with my dad when he first got me Lego. And it's funny because to this day, I still try to make myself do it. And I always kind of giggle to myself thinking back to, all the way back to when my dad did it with me. And it's anytime I build something, everything always, just to show you what I mean, but everything always has to overlap. So when I'm doing something, it has to overlap, you know what I mean? So it makes it really, really strong. And it's because to this day, I remember when my dad was on the floor playing with me, and he was showing me how to put something together, and I built something, and this is how, a typical kid, I'm building a wall, and I'm doing this, you know what I mean? So, and trying to build something really big, nothing's overlapped or anything, so my dad just walked up and kind of did one of those numbers, you know what I mean, and kind of knocked the piece down. But when he did that, it was kind of, as a kid, I was like, well, what the heck, Dad, and the reason he did that is because when he walked up and he said, son, if you're trying to build something and you want it to be strong, you got to do this. And he showed me, to start overlapping the pieces and all that good stuff. And that has always stuck with me all the way till, it's going to stick with me till the day I die. I will never forget that, because the way that he did it, he just walked up and it was like, poof. See how easy that fell apart? Son, you got to build it like this. And thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. But back to the religion question, the reason I won't specifically say any religion is because it doesn't matter what religion if I said that I am, it's going to offend somebody. And that's kind of like what we were on the line of talking about earlier today. It's kind of sucks that you can't really voice your opinion, because if you do voice your opinion, you're always going to PO somebody somewhere. But because I am, yes, you're absolutely right. Teaching me structural engineering, you are absolutely correct. But that is why I try to kind of veer on some objects and some topics. And like I said before, a lot of that was quite simply because some of the stuff that and I just realized you can't see what I'm doing. I've had discussions and kind of even went into politics a few times. And oh my God, I couldn't believe how many people dropped off my page so fast. No problem, Lego Joe. We will see you later, my friend. and everyone's entitled to their opinion. I have no objection to that at all, Shane. One of the best things that I always kind of looked at since someone said Christianity, we'll go there for a minute. To me, a good way to look at the Bible is the way that I always kind of looked at it is it's a history book. It's a really good history book. Because really that is what a history book is. A history book is written by a bunch of different people, and that is what the Bible is. It has a bunch of different chapters written by a bunch of different people, so it is a history book. And I probably shouldn't have even said that, because I probably just offended somebody. And at least I feel like I'm making a little headway on this thing, though. Doodle-doo, doodle-doo-doo. And do-do-do. I think we're making some good headway. Holy crap, I didn't realize how long I've even been on here. I want to get this side done though, or at least get another row or so done. We've actually had a very long discussion today, haven't we? And I'm surprised the numbers have stayed kind of up there. And thank you, Michael. He said he's learned a lot watching my builds and my Pinterest and every other thing. Oh, do I have any interest in architecture? You say art. When you say do I have interest in architecture, I always look at it in the aspect you're asking me as far as do I like looking at architecture. I love architecture. I love old architecture because it's always very frustrating to me. And I know I've discussed this in other streams, but it's frustrating to me when I see all the old buildings, these beautiful, beautiful buildings that they're tearing down and putting up what I call modern garbage in their place. But I love old architecture. I'm a big fan of old architecture, so anything that I can find that's very old and unique, it's like I would love to go to the UK at some point. And I say that because the buildings there are so old and there are so many unique forms of architecture throughout the UK that it would just be amazing just to walk around and sightsee. Here where I live in the United States, any place that is really nice old architecture like that, sadly is typically in a bad part of town. Or it's like where I live, and it's a very small town that was usually like 1800s, late 1800s or early 1900s, but there isn't a lot of really, really, really old stuff here. Comparatively speaking for architecture. So some of my favorite things to do, and this is what I've tried to explain to people, if you're looking for inspiration, one of the best things you can possibly do is get on Google and look at Google Maps and just start looking street views and all that kind of stuff at all the different buildings and whatnot you can find. And oh my God, and again, a lot of different architectural inspiration for me usually comes from the UK, and it's because they just have so many older buildings. And keep in mind, you know, the UK was all built, and a lot of those buildings and all that were built back before the automobile, which is what makes it so unique, because the streets and all that are really slammed together. And again, it's because there was no car at that point in time. All you needed was enough space for a horse and a buggy. And it's just really neat to see how a lot of that architecture kind of pans out and works out. Oh, absolutely no problem at all, Art Claxton. You are absolutely welcome, my friend. JJ. See, unfortunately, though, Jacobson, that's a talent that's gone to the past. What I mean by that is most people, if you don't agree with their view, they're immediately offended, and that's why I usually try to watch my P's and Q's most times. Because again, you know, and I don't, you know, as like somebody else was saying about painting the picture and whatever. I don't take offense to anything in a lot of relations of a lot of different things. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. I mean, we're all human, and I think everybody should be able to think, feel, view, you know, whatever they want to do. But it's just not that common to of a thing to think that way anymore. And yes, I wanted that there. I am, again, I'm just trying to make sure I am overlapping my pieces the way I wanted to. And that can't go there, because that has to have a two-way on that portion. So we will put that in. Oh, that sounds very cool, G. Jacobson. And how the heck are you, Papa's Bricks? I hope the snow wasn't too bad where you were at. And because I saw you had posted on, was it Instagram that I saw that earlier? You had posted on your way to work and it looked icy as snot. And I was just wondering, did it actually warm up there and melt a little bit for you, or no? No, I really haven't thought about that too much because right now I'm trying to focus on trying to get, like, because this is something that I want to have built. This is a very important build. And, oh, it's still working. I thought my computer just locked up. So I'm still trying to play around with my city here and there, and then I'm trying to do stuff like this, so that way I can make sure that I have, because I really want to take this to Brick Fair, Virginia, and I want to have a really nice looking display. So I am trying to focus a lot of my time on some of this stuff in between working on some of the smaller projects for my city. This is the base of the Avengers Tower. Yes, it is Lego D17. But no, to answer your question, I haven't really given that any thought as of yet. I do want to put it in the city. I do still plan on putting it in the city, but I haven't done it yet. Franken Brick says full house. That's kind of what that little section of the city that I worked on earlier today was. And it's funny because it's funny that you say Full House because that was one of my kids' absolute favorite shows when they were growing up, my daughters. Like I said, it's not that I'm really, I get it's because it can be hard to focus on projects. I'm personally not having a hard time focusing on projects. Or maybe I guess you could say I do because I jump around a lot. So I guess you could kind of say I have a problem focusing, but I feel like I'm doing not too bad because, like I said, I'm jumping around a little bit just because, quite simply, I'm trying to get stuff finished for something else. And Papa's Brick says, doing good. I did a little bit, some ice. It's been cold, 7 degrees Fahrenheit today. 16 high. Tomorrow is 16s and in the 40s. Well, if tomorrow, 7 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow, more. Holy crap, man, it's cold for Texas. I really need to get back to that part too, yes. Michael said, I meant castles. Well, that sounds cool, Gaffer. Michael says, buddy called again. Like I said, no worries at all. I should probably, I'm still trying to finish a little bit more, but I probably need to end this myself soon because I have been going for quite a few hours. But I'm really happy with the progress that I have currently made. note. I am still waiting on, because I have, it was like close to 2,000 parts that I am waiting for. Get in here. 2,000 parts that I'm waiting for as far as tiles, brown tiles, just so I can ballast my train tracks. And I ordered that back at the beginning of December. And we'll do that one there. Why does my phone keep going off? Oh, that's the boss. And that was the boss telling me I really need to go to bed. So on that note, let me do these few more. And this is what I will probably come back to working on tomorrow, guys. But the boss is right. I do need to quit. I was just getting a little happy getting some of this stuff done. Let me flow a few more parts that I have scattered here around. No, I still have not gotten my pick-a-brick order yet. It's a little frustrating. But first, before I go, guys, let me roll that beautiful bean footage. And again, I apologize. But I do need to end the stream, because like I said, the boss is telling me it's time to get to bed. Yes, I agree with you, though, White Israelite. Early America did have some amazing architecture, and Michael says, nice, brother. Anyway, I want to give a very special thank you in Super Chats to Brick Sergeant, Macro Bricks, Kenneth Swan, Imperial Officer 07, Axel, Michael, Sable Malamute, and James Jackson. And I didn't want to butcher your last name, Alex, so I apologize for that. We got a new subscription from Pizza Man, and Imperial Officer renewed his membership. Anyway, though, guys, again, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight, and hopefully I will be doing another live stream tomorrow. But before I go, as always, thank you for coming to Bevan's Bricks. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share below. And I hope I will see you guys next time, tomorrow, whenever that may be, on Bevan's Bricks. Take care, everybody, and have a blessed day. Good night, guys.